So you have been running your entire life, like making decisions, building a career, navigating relationship, trying to lead, trying to rest, trying to be yourself, and it's costing you not just time or energy, but the version of your life that you actually desire. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what's written in your blueprint, how it's been running your life without your permission, and the exact process I use with my private clients to rewrite it at the root. When you bought your phone, it came with a manual, detailed instructions on how it works, what every feature does, how to optimize its performance. The same way your car. A complete manual explaining the dashboard, the warning lights, what to do when something is not working right. Even your coffee maker, your dishwasher, they all came with instructions. Someone took the time to write down exactly how these things operate so you could use them properly, so that you could know that what to do when something goes off. But you, the most complex system that you are operating every day, you came with a manual too. I call it blueprint. Except no one ever handed it to you. No one sat you down at age of 7 or 15 or 25 and said, "Here's your manual. Here's how your emotional system works. Here's what safety feels like to your nervous system. Here's why you react under pressure. Here's what got programmed in you when you were too young." So you have been running your entire life, like making decisions, building a career, navigating relationship, trying to lead, trying to rest, trying to be yourself, all while operating from a blueprint you have never actually read. And it's costing you not just time or energy, but the version of your life that you actually desire. Hi, I'm Shweta. I work with women executives, directors, and business owners who look successful on the outside but feel misaligned on the inside. Women who have achieved the goals but lost themselves somewhere. Together, we read the blueprint that's been quietly running your decisions, your relationships, and your health. And then we rewrite it, not with more willpower, but with precision, depth, and real energetic clearing, so that you can finally feel as whole as you look. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what's written in your blueprint, how it's been running your life without your permission, and the exact process I use with my private clients to rewrite it at the root. Now, before I break down what's in your blueprint, I want to let you know that this blueprint reading, this deep pattern scan, is typically only available inside my private one on one mentorship, which is called Balance Mastery. But for a limited time, I'm offering it as a standalone session as well. In this session, I'll scan your blueprint across all three areas of your life: your career, your health, and your relationship. And I will show you exactly what's been running. You will see your life map, the patterns behind why you freeze in visibility. Why does your body hold tension? Why do you feel alone even when you are surrounded by your loved ones? Why are you never satisfied with your success? It's like finally seeing the code that's been running your entire operating system. And I won't just tell you what's there. We will clear one core pattern together, live on the call, on the spot. Okay, you will feel the shift in the call, not weeks from now, not after you have done more journaling, more affirmation, right there at that moment. This is only available for a limited time, and details are in description. Now, let me tell you what is blueprint and how to find your blueprint. Your blueprint is made up of three core elements: your limiting beliefs, your life conditioning, and your generational imprints. Think of these as the operating system running in the background of your entire life. So, most women spend decades trying to change their behavior, their habits, their reactions, without even looking at the code underneath. They are trying to upgrade the screen without touching the software. And then they wonder why nothing actually shifts, why the same patterns keep showing up in different clothes, why meditation, affirmation, watching podcast, reading book, and inner work is not helping. Let me break down each one of them so that today you start rewriting your own blueprint. Number one, the first element, limiting belief. A limiting belief is a thought you have repeated so many times that your nervous system now treat it as absolute truth. Things like, if I rest, I'm lazy. I have to earn love by achieving. Speaking up means going into the problem. My needs are less important than everyone else. If I'm not perfect, I'm not valuable. I'm unworthy. Okay, so these all are limiting beliefs. These are not conscious thoughts, they are wired into your manual, your blueprint. Your body believes them, your decisions reflect them, your relationship reinforce them. And you know the tender part? You didn't write these beliefs, someone else did. Okay, your parents who were doing their best but carrying their own unhealed wounds. Your teachers, your culture, the version of you that was just trying to survive, to be loved, to be safe, to not to be abandoned. So now, as an adult with a corner office and a full calendar and people depending on you, you are still operating from the instruction that were written by a child who was scared. Instruction that were survival strategies then, but are limitations now. Instructions that were never meant for this version of you, for the women you are becoming in this beautiful world. In my one on one work, I have watched women who are director, VPs, master at everything they handle professionally, and suddenly feel completely unworthy over the smallest thing, unworthy of their success, distant in their relationship. Why? Because someone they love made them feel unworthy when they were 7 or when they were 14 or 22. And decades later, they are still questioning their worth, still running the same program. Okay? Can you resonate with it? Okay, the element two is life conditioning. This is everything you learn by watching and experiencing your environment. Not just your early environment, but the world you have been swimming in your entire life. How your parents handled a conflict or avoided it. What happened when you expressed a need or when you were showing an emotion. How anger was treated, how sadness was received. But it didn't stop there. Your conditioning also came from what you absorbed watching the news, scrolling social media, consuming media that told you what success should look like, what your body should look like, what being a good woman means. The messages that said you need to hustle harder, be more productive, optimize every moment. The constant comparison culture that made you feel like everyone else has it figured out and you are falling behind. The images of women who seem to effortlessly balance it all, the career, the relationship, the perfect home, the wellness routine, while you are just trying to get through the day without collapsing. So you keep on comparing with them. All of this became part of your conditioning, part of your blueprint. For example, if you grew up where expressing anger was met with punishment or cold silence, your nervous system learned anger equals to danger. Stay calm, keep the peace, because if you express, you might become a trouble. Okay? And then social media enforced it. Every good vibes only post told you that anger is not spiritual. So now, decades later, you people please. You swallow frustration until it turns into resentment. You feel physically sick setting a boundary because somewhere deep in your system, a boundary feel like abandonment. Okay, not because you're weak, but because your manual, your blueprint written by your family or your caregivers, reinforced by culture, amplified by the world, still says this is how you survive. This is how you stay loved. This conditioning doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your body, in your breath, in the way your chest tightens before a difficult conversation, in the way your stomach drops when someone is disappointed in you, in the way your shoulder carry tension you can't release. That's why mindset work alone doesn't shift it. That's why affirmation doesn't stick. That's why reading another social media post about self love doesn't change how you actually feel. You have to update the actual manual, your blueprint. Element 3 is your generational imprints. And here's where it gets really interesting and honestly, really tender. Many of the patterns you are carrying didn't even start with you. They didn't even start with your mother. Research in epigenetics, studies from medicine schools has shown that trauma and survival pattern can be passed down through your DNA for up to 12 generations. 12. You heard it right. That means the fear your great 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 grandmother felt, the survival strategies she developed, the ways she learned to stay small, work harder, or silence herself, those are still living in your cells. Patterns like don't ask for too much, work twice as hard to prove your worth, keep your voice small to stay safe, sacrifice yourself for the family, your needs comes last. These are not just beliefs, they are encoded survival strategies that kept your ancestor alive. Your grandmother, who stayed quiet to protect herself in the culture that punished women voices. Your mother, who worked herself to tiredness to prove she belonged in spaces that didn't want her. These patterns saved their lives. They were love, okay? This was the only form they knew how to give it. But you are not living in their world anymore. You are not fighting their battles anymore. And your soul knows it. That's why the pattern feels so heavy. That's why you feel this constant friction between who you are becoming and who you have been coded to be. You are trying to run 2025 or 26 software on programming from generationals ago. The whole system keeps crashing because it's old and you keep thinking it's your fault. You are carrying instructions that were never meant for you or your life. And there's one another beautiful part. You get to be the one who rewrites it, not just for you, but for the daughters, the girls who come after you. But here's what most women miss, and this is so important, that knowing is not enough. Because knowing what's in your manual is not the same as rewriting it. Think about your phone. When you upgrade to the latest software, the phone is same, right? The hardware hasn't changed, but everything runs so faster, so smooth. Apps that used to crash now works perfectly. Features that were glitchy became seamless. You didn't get a new phone. You updated the operating system. And that's what we do in my one on one mentorship, Balance Mastery. We upgrade your operating system so you stop running on survival code and start operating from your true origination, your true self. I help your system operate with new empowering beliefs. We release the conditioning and we release these ancestral imprints from your DNA that are making you slow and stuck and speed up the process to achieve your desired life. Okay. Now, let me show you three ways an outdated blueprint shows up in your life right now. So, in your career, you are leading teams of 50 or say 100 or maybe more. You are managing multi million dollar projects, multiple project deliveries, constant demands. You are the one everyone looks to when things get complicated. And you handle it. You always handle it. But here's what actually happening. You're operating at 60% of your capacity because there's a part of you that's managing something else, managing how you perceived, managing the fear that if you speak too directly to someone, they will call you aggressive, that you have to maintain this, this persona in your office. Okay. Managing the voice in your head. You're running multiple operating system at once. One that's leading the meeting, and one that's constantly calculating. Did I say that right? Was I too much? Was I enough? Should I have pushed a little harder? Should I have stayed quiet? And the most exhausting part, no one sees it. They see a leader who has it all together. They don't see that you are burning your processing power on pattern that have nothing to do with the actual work. That's your outdated blueprint. Okay? So I hope you are understanding how your old blueprint is running you. It is creating decision fatigue, not because the decisions are hard, but because you are filtering every choice through old code that says, don't be too much, don't make waves, stay safe. And when it comes to your relationships, you're using work to escape, not because you care more about work than your personal relationship, but because work feels safer. At work, you know what to do, you know how to win, you know how to feel in control. At home, it's different. That's where the uncertainty shows up. That's where you have to feel the distance that has been growing for months or maybe years. That's where you would have to face the truth that you don't know how to reconnect anymore. You're doing the dinners, the trips, the everyday conversation, but you haven't truly been present in a long time. So you stay longer at work, you check emails at night, you take one more project. Not because you have to, but because it's easier than sitting in the quiet across the table. Easier than admitting you feel more alone with your partner than your coworkers. But listen to me. You are choosing the busyness, not on purpose, but because your old patterns are choosing it for you. When you keep yourself busy enough, you don't have to look at what's not working. When you are tired enough, you have a reason to avoid the emotional gap. But your partner feels it. They have stopped asking about your day because they know you are not really there. They have stopped reaching for you because it feels like they are interrupting your world. And the distance is becoming real, becoming long term. Every day you avoid this, you are losing something you can't replace. Your time together, your connection together. You love each other. Okay? This is the closeness that once made you feel alive. But it is happening because you are operating from your old blueprint. And in your health, your body is keeping the score. The headache that shows up Sunday night before a big week, the tension in your shoulders and neck without any medical reason, the sleep that's not actually restful. You are in bed for 7 to 8 hours, but you wake up tired because your mind never fully shuts off. You are still processing, still managing, still planning. You are still working during your sleep. You have normalized it. You tell yourself it's just part of the life and responsibilities. But you know what's actually happening? Your body is holding everything you are not letting yourself feel. The frustration that you can't express, the fear that if you stop, even for a moment, everything will fall apart. Your body is trying to get your attention. And the longer you ignore it, louder it gets. I'm telling you because I have suffered from it exactly the same way. The headaches became migraine. The sleep gets worse. The tension becomes the chronic pain. Your digestion issues. I'll not list down all my problems that I used to feel when I was going through this, but yes, I'm talking from my experience. The question is whether you stop now on your terms or later when things are even more complicated. In my blueprint analysis session, I'll show you exactly what's running in the background, the pattern that's creating the decision fatigue, the code that's keeping you in work mode to avoid the relationship, the survival strategy that's manifesting as pains and sleepless nights. You will see it clearly, and we will start clearing it in that session, right there, on the call, on the spot. We will clear one pattern that's running your life. You choose it, I'll help you clear it. And if you are ready for the complete upgrade, we will talk about Balance Mastery Program as well, where we rewrite the entire system so that you can lead your life your way. So the links are in description. Let's upgrade your blueprint.